Hi everybody, so this is Russell from Let's Get Racing. We're the day before Definitely All Right's maiden run for us on Monday, and we're joined by our trainer Mark Walford. Mark, thanks ever so much for finding the time to speak with us. We know you're a busy man, especially now racing is up in full swing. Mark, it'd be great just to understand, first of all, what your approach is to training 2-year-olds, and maybe then what you'd like to see happen on the race to educate Definitely All Right.
Yeah, so with our 2-year-olds, we're generally buying them in October as yearlings. So they're only about a year and a half old then. And we'll start there, what we call break them in, which is just get them used to someone being on their back. They'll have a trot up and down our lane to start with. And then it's just a very, very steady progression up until January, when they turn to all the horses turn. They change the birthday's all on the 1st of January is what I'm trying to say. So he turned 2 on the 1st of January officially. So from January then we have their knees x-rayed in January to check their growth plates in their knees. Some need a lot more time than others, and this x-ray will tell us that. So he was one of those, was x-rayed in January. His growth plates were very open. So he just had a little bit more time than the others. So January and February were very, very easy for him. And then you sort of start the proper training then towards the end of February, early March, start to go a little bit quicker. But it's very much treating each one as an individual. Some are ready to go right at the start of the flat season of their 2-year-old career at the end of March, early May. Then others like him need a little bit more time. Some, it's best not even to run them as 2-year-olds. And yeah, it's just taking an individual approach to each horse.
Sure. So is he still growing from when you're putting him into training from January? Is he kind of still increasing in height, weight, and kind of build, or is he?
Yeah, they do. Some, I would say now he's about the height he's going to be, and obviously that's why we got to the stage where we're racing him now, because you don't want to be giving a horse hard training when it's still getting taller and still developing, and that's when you need to ease back on them. But yeah, he's pretty much, he looks a very developed horse. He's fairly strong looking, not hugely tall, which isn't a bad thing, because if they get too tall, it can set you back when they're 2-year-old. And a lot of those that are still growing and they're going to be very big, they're best off just doing a bit of training at 2 and then turn them out in the field until they're 3. But no, he's at a stage now we feel he's ready to go.
Great. And obviously he's a son of Cannock Chase, and so this is Cannock Chase's first crop, as they call it, of 2-year-olds. His first year of having his sons and daughters running.
Yeah.
Have you noticed any other Cannock Chases that have run already, or have you seen anything
you
noticed physically about him that's quite typical?
Yeah, I mean, he was a horse I wasn't particularly looking to buy. Cannock Chase, I didn't know a huge amount about him, but my friend that has a stud, he bred him, and I went to see him there before the sales, and I just loved him as an individual. The pedigree's not outstanding, but he was a lovely individual. So when he went to the sales, I was keen to get him, which I did. But there's Cannock Chase. He had his first runner yesterday, and I hope we go a bit better than that one, because it did finish last, and a fairly average last as well. So yeah, but it looked a little bit green, and it'll come on. But he knows his job, hopefully a little bit better than that one.
Sure. And so what are you noticing? So obviously from a breeding perspective, the mother was a miler, the father, Cannock Chase, a 1.25 1.5 horse. I know from talking to you, you've noticed a bit of speed in Definitely All Right. We're starting off at 7 furlongs. Do you think that'll be about the right distance for him, or are we going to find out a lot more tomorrow?
Find out a lot more tomorrow. He's a funny one. So obviously, yeah, he's got the stamina influence from his father. The mother's family were a lot of speed. So he's shown us a fair amount of speed, but I wouldn't have him down as a sprinter in time. So when you're not 100% sure about distance, I think 7 furlongs a really nice intermediate distance to start off over, because they're not going to be under pressure from the start. If you run them over 6 or 5 furlongs, they can just be absolutely flat out all the way. They don't learn anything. Whereas over 7 furlongs, they go a little bit steady, and the horse has got a chance to be involved with the race. And yeah, I mean, the last 2 furlongs will be the interesting bit, because I know he can go for, 4 furlongs. He's not short of speed. We seem like he has ability. Occasionally, when we've worked him over a little bit further, he's just struggled a little bit. When we've put him under pressure for sort of 5 furlongs, the last furlong he's got a little bit tired. But I wouldn't put that down to stamina. I'd just put that down to him needing to learn and to get fitter and stronger.
Sure. And so I know your approach with the older horses is to use their runs to build their fitness. Obviously, with a 2-year-old, you're trying to do even more than just build their fitness through the run. Can you let us know what for you is important in terms of what we achieve in this first run? I don't mean necessarily in terms of finishing position, but what are you looking for definitely all right to have kind of learned through this?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I always think that a 2-year-old like him, it's all just about, it's like his first day at school. He's not going to quite know what to expect. Some take to it really well and do a lot better than expected, and some might just go backwards a bit from what they do at home. So he seems a fairly level-headed horse, and I think he'll take to it quite nicely. But it's all about experience tomorrow. Just getting him to the track. I don't want him to have a hard time, unless obviously we've got a chance of winning. I don't mind the jockey giving him a few flicks with a stick just to keep his mind on the job. But I want him to have a nice experience for his first race. Obviously, we're going out trying to do our best, but if it's not happening, and with 2 furlongs to go, the instructions will be just to bring him home safe.
Sure. And obviously, Dougie riding tomorrow. So apart from kind of being easy on him, what other sort of instructions would you be giving Dougie before the race?
Yeah, it's very difficult. I mean, there's 8 runners. One of them ran yesterday, so may well not run tomorrow. So we might be down to 7. Very hard to give any detailed instructions to the jockey, because you just don't. With 2-year-olds, 3 of them could miss the start. He could get a flyer, or vice versa. 3 could go forward and he could miss the break by 5 lengths. So
Sure.
you can't plan for that. So my instructions with all of 2-year-olds, they do know their job fairly well. They've been out the stalls a few times. So I would expect him to get a reasonable start. I would just say to Dougie, just jump out the stalls, let him go forward, and just wherever you sit after half a furlong, just ride your race from there. I say, just if he's going well, I don't mind him giving him a flick and giving him a proper race. And if it's not happening, like I said, he'll just bring him home in his own time, really.
Perfect. Okay, Mark. Well, look, we're really excited to watch the race in just a bit. So thanks ever so much for finding time to talk to us. And again, if you're able to join us for the Zoom after the race and debrief, that would be brilliant. But if not, we'll relay all your messages to all the owners when you get a chance to talk to us. So thanks very much for your time.
No problem at all.
Have a good rest of your Sunday. Cheers, Mark.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Russ.